I had planned a surprise luxury cruise for my kids, something magical, unforgettable. But just days before departure, my stepmother blindsided me. She replaced my children with my sister's kids, claiming they deserved it more. What I did next left everyone stunned. I used to think being part of a family meant enduring things, swallowing insults, letting yourself be used, because, in the end, family meant support. But I was wrong. Sometimes, family is just the group of people who know you won't say no. I wiped my hands on a kitchen towel and glanced at the clock. 6:47 p.m. Any minute now, my father and stepmother would walk in uninvited, as always. From the living room, I could hear my kids, laughing, arguing, filling the house with that beautiful, messy energy only children can create, and I knew that's exactly what my stepmother couldn't stand. "They're out of control. You've spoiled them rotten." Her words still rang in my ears. It didn't matter that the last argument had happened days ago, she never let go of anything. "Do you even discipline them, or do you just let them run wild?" I'd said nothing then, jaw tight. What would have been the point? She'd already decided who I was. "Mom, are we really going on the cruise?" Liza asked, bouncing excitedly. I smiled and tucked a curl behind her ear. "Of course, sweetheart, you and Max are going to have the best time. Just a few more days." This trip was meant to be special, a vacation for the kids and their grandparents, a bonding experience. A break for me. I'd planned everything, booked the best suites, paid in full, ensured they wouldn't have to lift a finger. The front door opened without a knock. "Hello, darling," my stepmother called out, all sweetness and fake charm. My father trailed behind her, as always, silent. I turned and forced a polite smile. "Not today," I told myself. "Don't let her bait you today." "Perfect timing," I said. "I was just finalizing cruise details." Her smile spread slowly, calculated. My stomach turned. "Oh, about that," she said, shrugging off her coat. "We had to make a little change." I stilled, my grip on the counter tightened. "What change?" She sat gracefully, like we were discussing appetizers, not something I'd spent months preparing. "We decided your sister's kids would benefit more from the trip." Silence. I blinked. "Excuse me?" She sighed, already playing the victim. "After our disagreement, I realized your kids don't really deserve this trip. They're exhausting, too much work, and honestly, this will be a good lesson for you. You need to learn how to raise them properly." I saw it all so clearly then, her plan, her smug satisfaction. I remembered the dinner 3 nights ago, Max reaching for the breadbasket. "Max, sit properly," she snapped. "They're just excited," I had said gently. "Excited? They're feral. You've raised wild animals." I bit my tongue then, just like I always did. My father said nothing, just stared at his plate. And now, this, her revenge disguised as teaching me a lesson. "You replaced my children?" My voice was calm, too calm. She waved her hand like it was nothing. "Oh, don't be so dramatic. They'll get another chance. Your sister's kids had a hard year, and they're easier to manage. It's for the best." My father shifted, uncomfortable, predictable. Then something in me broke. I didn't yell, I didn't argue. I picked up my phone, steady as ever. "Oh," I said lightly, "that won't be a problem." A few swipes later, every ticket, every suite, every carefully curated excursion, cancelled. Her smile faded. "What are you doing?" she asked sharply. I slipped the phone into my pocket. Problem solved. Silence. My stepmother blinked. My father cleared his throat. "You canceled the trip?" she asked, stunned. "That's right." But that's absurd," she sputtered. "The cruise is tomorrow. What will we tell your sister's kids?" I folded my arms. "Tell them what you told me, plans changed." Her mouth opened, then shut. "But it's already paid for," my father said weakly. "No, I paid for it," I said coldly, "and if my kids aren't going, no one is." His face paled. "You mean, everything? You canceled everything?" I nodded. "You're being childish," she hissed. "Am I? Or am I just playing by your rules?" She jumped up, her face twisting. "You had no right." "No," I said firmly, "you had no right to decide who was worthy of my generosity, to punish my children for not fitting your mold. You wanted to teach me a lesson? Fine, here's yours. You don't get to use what I give and then rewrite the rules. She looked to my father, hoping for backup. But for once, he hesitated. He looked at me with something like realization in his eyes. And you're okay losing all that money? He asked quietly. I smirked. Oh, don't worry, I got a full refund. I pulled out my phone and showed them the email. The cruise line had a cancellation policy. I insured every booking. Her eyes widened. You planned for this? No, I said, but I've learned to prepare for people who think they can walk all over me. And for the first time in years, they had nothing to say. I booked the cruise through my corporate account, pulled a few strings. Every cent was coming back. The room fell into stunned silence. Then her face twisted in rage. You. Me, I said coolly, slipping my phone into my pocket. I just erased your little power play in 2 minutes. Hope it was worth it. You are so ungrateful, she hissed. I exhaled, slowly. Grateful? For what? Being told my kids weren't good enough? For constantly being treated like a burden in my own family? She marched toward me, jabbing her manicured finger into my chest. I've done nothing but try to help you. I let out a sharp, humorless laugh. Help me? Let's review what help looks like to you. I held up a finger. 1. You've taken money from me for your emergencies while my kids went without. Another finger. 2. You've called me selfish every time I dared do something for myself. 3. You've never defended my kids when they were being compared to your better-behaved grandkids. 4. And now, you went behind my back and cut my kids out of a trip I planned and paid for without even telling me. I lowered my hand and stepped back. That's not help, that's control, and I'm done letting you have it. My father finally stood. Honey, let's just calm down. No, I snapped. I'm done being calm. I'm done playing nice. I grabbed my purse and headed toward the door. Where are you going? He asked. Home, I said, because unlike some people, I actually want to spend time with my children. And I walked out, slamming the door behind me. No guilt, no second guessing, just clarity. The moment I stepped outside, my phone buzzed like a hive. I expected it. My stepmother never took public humiliation quietly. Missed calls. 3. Dad. 5. Stepmother. Texts. Stepmother. You are being ridiculous. Call me back now so we can fix this mess. You will apologize. I don't care how angry you are, you will not ruin this trip for your father. Text. Dad. Sweetheart, can we talk? I snorted. Now he wanted to talk. I slid into the driver's seat, locked the doors, and let myself breathe. My hands trembled, not with fear, but with adrenaline. I had finally stood my ground. Just as I was about to set my phone down, it buzzed again. Incoming call, Emily. Of course. I declined. 15 minutes later, there was a knock at my front door, not a tap, a furious bam bam bam. I sighed. If I didn't answer, she'd just keep pounding until the neighbors called the cops. I opened the door. Emily, perfect hair, perfect coat, perfect scowl. Are you serious? She snapped. Nice to see you too, I said, folding my arms. She shoved past me in designer heels, storming into the living room like she owned the place. Why the hell would you cancel the trip? I leaned against the doorframe. You mean the trip I paid for? That one? Don't start, she groaned. Mom said you overreacted. She didn't mean it. I laughed. What's so funny? She asked. You, acting like this is some tiny misunderstanding I should just forgive and forget. It was just a vacation, she snapped. You turned it into a drama. No, Mom did. She reminded me, once again, that my kids will never be enough for her. Emily rolled her eyes. Here we go, the victim's speech. There it was, the same dismissal I'd gotten all my life. You always do this, she said. You act like the world's against you. I didn't act like anything. Mom said my kids were too much, that they didn't deserve the trip, and you let her. She didn't mean it like that. She did, I said, and you know it. Emily exhaled through her nose, holding her composure. Just fix it, rebook it, don't make this a family war. Too late, I said quietly. She scoffed. Forget it, I should have known you wouldn't be reasonable. She turned for the door. By the way, I called. She stopped, sighing. What now? I smiled coldly. Let mom know she's getting the bill for the non-refundable deposits. She froze. What deposits? Oh, you didn't think everything was refundable, did you? The excursions, the upgraded suites, the VIP dinner, those were special add-ons. Her eyes narrowed. How much? $12,000, I said casually. You're lying. Wanna see? I pulled up the confirmation email. She stared at the screen, her mouth slightly open. Mom is going to lose it. Oh, I know. Emily turned, frantically texting as she reached for the door. One more thing, I said. She paused, looking over her shoulder. Next time mom wants a free vacation, I smiled. She can book it herself. Then I closed the door in her face. That night, as I tucked my kids into bed, I didn't feel regret. I didn't feel guilt. I felt peace. For the first time in my life, I had set a boundary loud, clear, and expensive. And I had a feeling this was just the beginning. I let out a dry, humorless laugh. No, Dad, she didn't do what was best for the family. She did what was best for her version of the family, one where I'm just the wallet, not the voice. He stayed silent. So let me make this simple, I said, my tone suddenly cold and final. I'm done. No more paying, no more fixing, no more playing the role of the family doormat. If she wants a vacation, she can book one. If Emily's kids need a trip, she can pay for it. Sweetheart. No, I cut him off, the words sharp and unforgiving. This was my last act of generosity, and you stood by while she threw it away. Silence. Then finally, he spoke softly, brokenly, for the first time in years. It sounded real. I don't know how to fix this. I closed my eyes. You don't, I said gently, because you're 20 years too late. And I hung up. The next few hours were blissfully quiet. No calls, no messages. I made pancakes with my kids, took them to the park, and ignored the chaos waiting on the other end of my phone. But I knew it wouldn't last. At exactly 3:14 p.m., the doorbell rang. I didn't move. Then it rang again, longer this time. Followed by loud, insistent knocking. I sighed and finally got up. Might as well end this on my terms. When I opened the door, there she was. My stepmother. Her hair was frizzed at the edges, her usually pristine blouse was wrinkled, and her eyes, those were pure, white-hot fury. We need to talk. I leaned against the doorframe, arms folded. I really don't think we do. She barged past me anyway, just like always. And just like always. I let her, but this time, it was different. This time, I was ready. She spun around in my living room, her voice sharp and shrill. What the hell is wrong with you? I gave her a smug smile. You'll have to narrow that down. You ruined everything. The trip, the plans, the family. You have no idea what you've done. Oh, I do, I said calmly. I took back control. Your sister is a wreck, the kids are devastated, your father is heartbroken, and you're just sitting here like some spoiled, selfish brat. I tilted my head, thoughtful. Sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. She stepped closer, eyes blazing. You need to fix this. I smiled, slow and cold. No. Her nostrils flared. You don't get to say no. Oh, but I do, and I just did. She stared at me, vibrating with rage. You think you've won? I stepped closer, and for the first time in my life, she stepped back. I think you just learned what happens when you push someone too far. She was trembling now, furious, desperate. This isn't over, she hissed. I laughed. It was over the second you decided my kids weren't good enough for you. I opened the door. Bye, Mom. She flinched at the word, loaded with the cold venom I intended. Then she left. And this time, I locked the door behind her. That night, as I tucked my kids into bed, my daughter looked up at me with a tiny frown. Mommy? Yes, sweetheart? Did we do something bad? Is that why we're not going on the trip? The question punched me in the chest. I gently brushed her hair back. No, baby, you didn't do anything wrong, not even a little. She nodded slowly and curled up with her bear. And as I stood there watching her sleep, something clicked inside me. This wasn't about revenge anymore. This was about protection. If I had to burn every bridge to shield my kids from that kind of toxic love, I would. When my phone rang that evening, I didn't even look at the screen. Then came the flood. Incoming call, Dad. Incoming call, stepmother. Incoming call, Emily. I let them all go to voicemail. Then came the texts. Emily, pick up the phone. Mom is losing it. Dad's freaking out. You need to undo this now. She's talking about getting lawyers involved. I smirked. Oh, this was getting good. They wanted to play dirty? Fine. I opened my email and found exactly what I needed, a signed contract. Flashback, 2 months earlier. That's a lot of money, my coworker Ryan had said, peering at my screen. I know, I muttered. You trust your stepmother with this? I paused, not even a little. Then protect yourself, get something in writing. If they break the terms, they owe you. I stared at him. A slow grin spread across my face. Ryan, you're a genius. Present day. I forwarded the signed contract to Emily. Less than 30 seconds later, my phone rang. Incoming call, Emily. This time, I answered. What the hell is this? She shrieked. That, I said, settling back into the couch, is a legally binding agreement. You're actually making Mom pay you back? She accepted my terms when she let me fund the trip. She signed, she breached, now she pays. Emily went quiet. Then, in a lower, angrier tone, she's going to lose her mind. She should have thought of that before screwing me over. We can work something out, Emily said quickly. Maybe Mom can pay in installments or. No. What do you mean no? I mean no, Emily, she's manipulated us for years. Not anymore. She owes me money. She's going to pay. Silence. You'd actually sue your own mother? She's not my mother, and yes. Another pause. Then. This is going to destroy the family. I took a slow breath. No, Emily, this family was already broken. I'm just done pretending it wasn't. I hung up. That night, I poured a glass of wine, curled up on my couch, and waited. Waited for the storm. Waited for the moment they all realized I wasn't the one to walk over anymore. And sure enough, at exactly 9:02 p.m., the calls came. Dad, Emily, stepmother. I didn't pick up. Because this time I was done. Now, Reddit, did I do the right thing? Should I follow through in court? Or should I try to reconcile, one last time?